Now we'll have a reading by Marie Huntley. Nothing less than the truth, pushed back, not held back.
Hello, everyone. So, I'll start reading here. My mom was a picture of perfection as a wife. She had dad's back no matter what, and sometimes she ended up having to make the hard decisions. Mom was a yes kind of a woman from my point of view. It was as though dad had a spell on her, and she put up with a lot of his stuff. Sometimes I wonder why she was dead. She wasn't dead, because people think because you're a child that you see no evil and you hear no evil. But yes, kids do. We see it all. We saw almost all of it, if not it, and then some of it. It seemed as though she was afraid of my dad, but on the outside, she smiled and she showed courage. It's a mask that she wore. I always had in the back of my mind that no man would ever treat me like that. And instantly, I started judging my mom. Be careful how you speak or judge a situation when someone else is going through, because that will come back and bite you hard. And that too can be you. See, when my grandma was living, she kept the family close from what I saw as a kid. We all lived in Stranahan after moving from Sixth Trunk, and we stayed at one end, and my aunts and the grandmother at the other end of the dirt road. This was back in 1981, 1982. I only remember my grandmother, my mom's mother vaguely. She was a no sense type of a woman, and my brother, she had a heart for my brother. What I remember is mom and dad arguing a lot, and it really affected our family. One night, mom woke all of us up while we were at grandma's house, and she put us in the back seat of her black Nova, and she had this night. Took us, and she crunked up the car, and we started driving. And this was the night my dad started following my mom, so it became a chase. We never knew why, but I stayed scared a lot of the unknown because we never knew what would happen in our family. And as kids in my family, you always saw what was going on, whether you wanted to or not. But one day, something happened. Everyone was sad. All of a sudden, I saw myself standing in front of the bed, in front of a bed that grandma was laying in, and she was asleep. I never knew at that age then that it was death until I started growing up, and I never saw grandma again. I thought she was just sleeping, but she was very pretty though. My mom and dad fought a lot, and dad did some things that mom didn't like, but mom did things that dad didn't like. Anyways, my mom loved money, purses, and shoes. Forget that. She just loved money. Most of the time, we never really knew what the fights were for, but we always were in the midst of them. We never got an explanation because we were kids, right? You don't get an explanation. No one owes you anything. From here is where it began. Promiscuous behaviors and wanting to have a boyfriend in high school. But I was like this super tomboy. I even dressed like one, and it was just crazy how I act. My high school days should have been my best, but they really weren't so. I played basketball to stay at school and out the house. By the time I would get home, everyone would be asleep. That was good for me. On the weekends, I would go to the parks, I would play basketball, or just get involved in something. I remember joining the dance team for the park down the street from our house, and I was pretty good. So good, I led the line from the front. And then after that, I joined the double dutch team, and I dominated. Being at home in the house was miserable. We weren't a family. We didn't talk to one another. We ate dinner together and said not one word at the dinner table. So as you can see, this was a life that I was not prepared for. That's how life went on and on until I decided to try and move with my mom. Boy, was that a mistake. It started when I got there, nothing but hell, because I had chosen to stay with dad instead of leaving when she left. She never let me live that down. I got there, had to put all my clothes in her room behind her vanity because I wasn't allowed to share the room with my other sister. I slept on the floor behind the vanity with no room, or either downstairs on the couch. It was pure hell because my sister and I fought continuously for nothing. I was happy for the first time in years after leaving the oldest kid's two father, and being with my ex gave me some comfort in knowing that I could be loved again. Well, life went on, and he loved me indeed. He loved me so much till his jealous rage caused him to do things that harmed me. I would go hang out with my sister or friends, and every single time he would find me and pull me out the club as if he was my daddy. Then we would fight, and he would overpower me and beat me. I can't say that I liked it, but at the time I had 2 kids that he was taking care of, and not to mention me. For the things I was going through, I found peace in him. I became dependent on him and the way he treated me. So we had 2 kids, and after I had the kids, we moved into our place, and shortly afterwards became homeless. It was stressful, frustrating, and I was losing it because at times we never knew where our next meal was coming from. And he didn't work, and at that time neither did I. So for a while we lived out in the truck we had made, and we made it work. Thank you.